Ride the Thunder is really simply just meant to be a celebration of goodness. On top of that, we overlay the history of the Vietnam War, which very few people are familiar with, unfortunately, particularly the end of the war. For Americans, most of you here, because of your age and where you were in life then, you know that we got involved in Gulf of Tonkin resolution, and the Marines land in 1965, and everyone knows about Tet, blah, blah, blah. But very few people, even informed Americans, I learned as I was doing this, understand the curious set of circumstances that undid the South Vietnamese at the end of the war. And I won't go into that, but if you read the book, you'll get a sense for that. And it was something that probably didn't need to happen. We are stuck with a Vietnam generation that is quietly retiring from the scene, in my opinion. I'm not a Vietnam veteran, so I can say this, I think, better than they can. I'm frustrated that the Vietnam generation is retiring quietly from the scene without having secured their proper place in history. The Vietnam veteran and our Vietnamese allies deserve a better place in history than they've been given. And this book is an attempt, and we're involved in a film effort to right the wrongs. And I'll get into that in a minute. But let me just tell you about the three main characters in Ride the Thunder. And a number of you gentlemen are here because you were friends of or have friends who knew John Ripley. John Ripley passed away in October of 2008, and John Ripley was the Hollywood looking from Central Casting Marine. He was handsome, he was a tough guy. He had a southern drawl. That gives you a couple of points extra. I mean, he was a Virginia gentleman, and his wife was gorgeous, and they were the prototypical quintessential Marine couple. Great man, a warrior. One of the things I loved about John Ripley was he was a guy that was so in control of his emotions, but comfortable with who he was, and when I would interview him, there would be times when he would just weep.
Your contribution, whether you stood on the firing line, in the cockpit, on a rocking deck, whatever it may be, you were prepared for the moment. My particular moment was probably highlighted more than one of you would like that we really wanted. But I just want to thank you, my fellow veterans, for what you did to help us prepare our military with the soldiers, the airmen, the Navy guys that I had there. Perhaps some of them were under you before they went and joined us over there. So I thank you all for what you did, and I thank you for your continued support for this great nation of ours. When this guy with 700 Marines 5 days later leaves the ground, and he has less than 80 Marines who could walk the next day. 80 Marines. That's mind-boggling. He lost 80% of his unit, but he successfully turned the tide of the Easter offensive. That's why I like Colonel Dinh, because I'm not a prisoner, thank God.